Okay. Now, let's get into our last portion, which is the other things, but yet that are very important. So another local relationship that you should be focusing on building is with your local farm, because not only could you get cheap produce at cost, but you can also cut out the middleman, which is also a hedge against just rising prices in general. And you get to support your local economy. Or you could also grow your own, your own food, get you a cute little fruit tree, or get you some livestock if that's allowed in your neighborhood, whatever in which that you can do in order to fight back on costs. Because remember, us as consumers, if we demand it less, the price will go down. Now, this does not apply to luxury goods though, but when it comes to food, yes, it does, absolutely. Now, the next thing that you're going to do in order to hedge against rising inflation is to get you a bulk membership card. So that is from BJ's, Costco, or Sam's Club. I'm a Costco girl. I go for the cheap gas and as well as the amazing goods. So get you one of those. And also, if you decide to say, you know what, this sounds cute, but I'm going to do what I want to do anyway. If you have to spend money, or should I say unnecessary money outside of your budget or what have you, I want you to only spend if you're going to have cash back rewards, or if you have a credit card that's going to give you points. Also, another thing which I need you to do is to stock up on your medications, because with the volatility of these prices, we never know what's going to happen. And also consider getting disability insurance, especially if you are the sole provider of your household. It is important that you have an income source that is more than the current unemployment payments, just in case anything happens. And this will allow for you to hedge economic conditions that may come towards you.
Yo, she gave out so much good stuff. I had never heard of a trilateral market before, but we are living in times we've never lived in before, so that would make sense. Goodness, where do I want to go? So a lot of what she talked about was keeping your money, what to do with it, how to manage it, where to invest, how to invest, why, things of that nature. Welcome into the room, Anonymous. We are so happy that you're here joining us today. Shalay, what does profit in a recession really look like? Like, she gave a lot of different ways for us to save our money, but also for us to make some money, right? Mm-hmm. So what does profit in a recession look like?
That's a great question. What does profit in a recession look like? I would say you should look at profit in a recession, like a return on whatever you're investing. Now, those margins may be different. And I think that when we're looking at a profit in a recession, going back to the books and being like, okay, well, I'm used to having a profit margin that's here. But if I have a profit margin that's less than that, am I still surviving? Am I still able to float? Just like kind of bringing it back to real estate. So real estate, and some people, I get calls for people saying, investors know. They're like, okay, we're going into, it's a buyer's market. In most areas in the country, even in Boston and surrounding, it's becoming more of a buyer's market, meaning buyers have more opportunity and more opportunity to leverage and negotiate, right? So investors are calling me like, yeah, I want to get some multifamily property and things like that. I have clients who are on the fence, right? I don't want to buy because I'm scared of what the housing market's going to do. And everybody's been talking about this big recession or this big bubble that's going to happen in the real estate market, right? The fact of the matter is the last 3 recessions that we've had, COVID, people thought that was going to be the bubble. Real estate values skyrocketed in COVID, skyrocketed, okay? 2008, that was a recession where values did plummet. Depending on the market you were in, it plummeted at different percentages. Some parts of the country, only 5 to 10%, some parts up to about 30%. But that was a housing-driven recession. And then the one before that was the dot-com one. What was that? That was 2001. And property values stayed the same or went up a little bit. But after all of these recessions, what has happened? Real estate has rebounded and then skyrocketed in value. So, for people who are like nervous about it, be nervous if you don't have strong employment or a strong way to pay for it. But generally, historically, that property is going to maintain its value. So that can be one of the strategies that people really put in place. Like, okay, I don't have a property now. Should I be looking at getting into the real estate market? Because the fact of the matter is, after this recession, if we're in a recession, after the recession, real estate values are probably going to go up.